So I went ahead and already moisturized and prepped my face, did my eyebrows, and used a primer. I used the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. And so now I'm just gonna go ahead and start and apply my foundation. I always apply my foundation first, and then I apply the concealer afterwards. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So my ultimate favorite foundation, I try to switch, I go back and forth, but I always go back to my MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. And I use the color NC20. Sometimes in the winter, I like to mix the NC15 and the NC20, just because I do tend to get a little bit more pale. So I go ahead and place some foundation on the back of my hand, like so. And I go ahead and grab my beauty blender and just bounce it on my skin. I have a really long nail, and I always stab my beauty blender. I start in the center of my face. I am oily to combination skin, so I like to start at the center to get the most product. This is a pretty mattifying foundation. I also love this foundation because it's really buildable. I know it's right away full coverage, but if you even want that extra full coverage, you could go over it in layers and it will not crack. I like to push it into the skin so I don't slide, never slide. I push it into the skin so it can really get into my pores, and you won't see any streaking. On the most problematic areas, I do have a lot of scarring on the sides of my cheeks, so in the scarring areas I like to add more product. Like I said, you can definitely layer it up and for the extra full coverage, see? So now that that's blended in all into the skin, we're gonna move. This is why my beauty blenders always break. It slides into my beauty blender. I like to use either one of these products. The first one is my NYX HD Concealer. Maybe this one. I use the color Porcelain. It's the 01 Porcelain. And then my second favorite, it's not really a drugstore product because I don't find it at the drugstore, but it's definitely in the drugstore price range. It's about $3. Is this LA Girl Pro Conceal HD High Definition Concealer. And this is in the color Porcelain as well. So I'm gonna do one on each eye so you can see they both are really full coverage. I don't have that many fine lines, but I do have some, and they don't set into them. So the first one I'm taking is the NYX. I'm gonna go ahead and place it right under. I like to do kind of like a triangle shape. Really bring it down and up. The LA Girl Pro Concealer. And same. This one's a little bit thicker, so at times I feel like it is very necessary to, when you blend it out, that your beauty blender is damp. At all times I always keep my beauty blender damp anyways. If not, it is a sponge, so it will suck up all your product. So it's best to get it damp first and then work it into the skin. So this one, it does seem to be a little bit brighter and lighter, so I'm going to add in a little bit more of the NYX product. I'm going to take the NYX concealer and put it on the high points of my face. So I like to bring it down the nose, just a little bit, like that, and a little bit here. And then I'll just take the LA Girl concealer and put it here. The same beauty blender that I use to blend out my foundation, and just blend it out. Okay, and I feel like the Beauty Blender really helps it seamlessly blend into the skin. See, there's no harsh line. I don't like to take too long to go ahead and set. I am doing the under eye all about drugstore products. I just got this Coty Airspun loose face powder. This one here. And I got it in the color Translucent 07024. I believe this is the lightest shade, but it says translucent, so I feel like it doesn't give me coverage, which I like because I already am putting a lot of coverage with my concealer. I really just want it to be a translucent powder to set my under eye so it won't move throughout the day. And it makes a mess. It's a top that you just pull off so it doesn't twist. So what I like to do, if I just pull it up right now, all this powder will fall out. I like to turn it over and lift it up this way. And it's still in the top and in the case, okay? The Airspun does come in a variety of colors. I don't know if it comes in a really bright yellow one as the banana powder would come in, but it does come in different colors. So I like to take the powder on a damp beauty blender. I'm going to use the same one I use for my entire foundation. And I like to go ahead and just go in and set the under eye. Really like to pack it on because I am going to eventually do, not shown this video, but I am going to do an eyeshadow look, and if there's any fallout, you could just brush it away. And I am packing it heavily because I am baking with this powder. All right, you're just gonna set every area that you concealed. So all the high points on my face, I'm going to set it with this powder. And then I like to go ahead and take some on a fluffy brush like this one. This is the Morphe M500. I like to go ahead and take this one and then grab a little bit of that powder. I'm not going to cake it on or anything. It's just really like a translucent powder to set my face. I like to set just the areas that I have scarring in, so that when I apply either a contour color or a bronzer over it, it doesn't pick up the foundation and you see my redness all over again. This powder is so soft. I really feel like it helps with fine lines, it helps with the pores. It's so soft that it just glides on top of the skin and makes the face look flawless. All right, and that is it. That is how I conceal my under eyes and brighten up the high points of my face and set it with powder. I used the drugstore products and I love them. I feel like they work just as great as high-end products. Other powder that I've been using would be like the Mercier powder, and I actually switched it over to this one because I found that it's a great setting powder from a drugstore. This is what I end up doing with the rest of my face, but as you can see, this is how I set my concealer with this Airspun. $5, Walmart. It's amazing. And then the, I know I mentioned the Pro Conceal is about $3. I can't find it at a drugstore, so I actually buy it like from a Swami or a little fashion store. But the NYX, I do find it like at Target. It's about $5, $6, so it's also a good price range. And they work amazing. It looks like I use high-end products. But thank you so much for watching. I had a great time. Thank you so much, Ipsy, for having me here at the Ipsy OS studios. I had a blast.